from the vault, high atop the pastoral center of the Diocese of Camden, you're listening to Talking Catholic.
Hey guys, once again to Talking Catholic, the official podcast of the Catholic community of South Jersey. We're delighted to be here with you again. I'm Pete Sanchez and Mike Walsh, my co-host. How are you, Michael?
I'm well, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. Coming back. It was a good weekend. It's Monday morning here.
Yes. Yeah. All those yes to all those questions. Yes, it's definitely Monday morning that we're recording this, and yes, it was a nice weekend. And but yeah, I was going to compliment you on the most recent podcast, Talking Saints podcast that you and Lori did. Lori was great. She was phenomenal.
Wait.
Every time I listen to her on the podcast, she's outstanding. I'm like, why do we not have her on more?
I agree. I thought you said you were going to compliment me, and then you said Lori was great.
She was great, though.
No, she was.
Yeah.
But
I don't understand I don't understand the point you're trying to make here, Pete. Are you saying I'm not passing the compliments around enough?
No, not anyway.
Okay.
It's Monday morning. I need coffee.
What's the rule about me before 10 a.m., dude? Oh, wait, it's 11 a.m. Okay. I have no excuse.
We're moving it back, Mike. The needle is... But no, Lori was wonderful. We talked about St. Thomas Aquinas, whose feast day is today that we're recording. Just listen to it. He was a great doctor of the church, and if cheap plug, you can figure out, you can find out on the show why he was called the dumb ox.
I can't. I'm not going to ruin it. I want people to listen to it. It was great.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's just Thomas Aquinas. It's just interesting. We do the monthly series, Talking Saints, and... Is it a monthly series? It is. Every month. Yeah, every month we do a...
I produced that, and I haven't noticed it was monthly. I just thought it was randomly chosen.
Well, we do it every month, but there is a particular saint that every month we highlight. Yeah. So we're looking forward to... We did also... we just recorded one for February next month as well, which will be a surprise.
Right. Spoilers.
No. But, I mean, all these men and women, these holy men and women are inspirations to me as I'm learning about them through their lives. And Lori and I are happy to share it. She has such a way about her. I've said this before, privileged to know her for many years.
Yeah.
And she is... she's just got a light to her and a way about her that lends herself to talking about holy people, because I find her a fount of inspiration, a fount of
information.
Yes, thank you. Fount of information in my life.
She's probably a fount of inspiration as well. I mean, I like her a lot. So
she and I go back and forth sometimes over a lot of different things. Yeah.
I'll tell you something else. I was actually I don't know why, it was just by happenstance. I hadn't looked at the podcast stats for a while. One of your Talking Saints episodes is now in the top 10 all-time listens. I think you'll be pleased to know it's St. Augustine. Yeah.
Or Augustine, Mike.
Fine.
Augustine. Yeah, I hear it both ways.
Hey, listen, I already messed up one of our guests' names already, so I had to make a little note all right, I had to say this properly, even though it's a perfectly normal name. I couldn't say it properly.
It's all right, Mike. We all... No, I mean, I don't know if it's... I've heard it pronounced Augustine and Augustine, so I'm just kidding. Okay. It's Monday. I feel punchy. You're
dressed nicely today, which is rare. It's like, that's the other thing. It's like, I know it's an audio podcast that people can't see you, but you have a really dapper tie on, and you have the best sports coat that I've ever seen you wear, ever.
Really? I remember I got the sports coat for Bishop Sullivan's installation.
And you haven't worn it for 5 years?
Mike, I have a fall jacket and a summer jacket. This is my fall jacket.
But it's wintertime.
It's winter. It's the cold month jacket.
All right. But it's such a nice jacket. It actually looks kind of... I would have made that a spring jacket. It looks kind of thin.
Well...
But, I mean, beautiful, though.
It might be. Maybe I think for Easter. It's like, I'll wear it for Easter for you,
I think,
Mike.
One of our colleagues, John Kalitz, has been trying to talk us into making this a video podcast for a while. And I've explained to him repeatedly that he has to understand that these are faces for radio. And he doesn't disagree. Yeah. However, I think we talk about things that happen in the vault enough. Maybe we do need to set up like a Mevo camera up there and just have it pointed in our general vicinity.
I was going to say, Mike, the tagline should be faces for radio, jackets for video. Because I like your jacket too.
Oh, well, this one's old. This one actually, if I'm not mistaken, this one goes back sometime around college or high school. But it's this is college. This is college era. You can tell it's old because it's got 3 buttons on it. I look
That's
better
good.
in three buttons.
It's Old Faithful.
Did any of our guests realize we were going to talk fashion while we were here today? Nope. They're all shaking their head now. It's very unusual. They're very spiritual people, and here we are talking about, garbage.
Mike, we're talking about the spring and winter
I know I'm a
jackets that we wear.
My makeup is a winter. No.
I don't even know.
All right, come on, let's go to the news.
Okay, well, moving from fashion to spirituality here. We got this Saturday, February 2nd, our good friends, the Franciscan Sisters of the Renewal, will be holding another First Saturday Reflection Day at St. Michael Church, 10 North Mississippi Avenue in Atlantic City, New Jersey, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. There will be Mass, a talk by a Franciscan Friar of the Renewal. There'll be lunch in Corimba Hall, adoration, confessions, music, a rosary, Eucharistic healing service, and benediction. It's going to be a great day. I've been here before. It's a nice day. Come on out. Get kind of recharged for the new week.
And did you tell me you were going to go down there with a camera, or were you planning on doing like a little blurb and story, or?
I was going to take a camera and just take a few shots.
Okay.
Maybe I was thinking for social media too.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
And I'll be there. Say hello. If you want to go, it's free. Contact Sister Kiara for questions. No RSVP is necessary. But if you want to talk to Sister Kiara, call 609-343-1545. This is this Saturday, February 2nd, Groundhog Day.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
That's
it's a classic.
Story.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah. And then coming up, we got on February 6th, we got here at the Cathedral right across the hall, the Cathedral Speaker Series continues at the Cathedral Parish of the Immaculate Conception here on 624 Market Street in Camden. All these times are at 7 p.m. in the Cathedral Hall. But the next one's this Wednesday, February 6th, with Dr. Paul Kettle, who works at the Veterans Administration Hospital in Philadelphia and teaches medical students at UPenn. He'll be talking on understanding Alzheimer's and powers of attorney. So come on out. That sounds really fascinating. They'll be happening every month up until May on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. here in Camden. And then this is cool, Mike. We got, once again, the Youth Congress is coming up in March 2nd at the Assumption Regional Catholic School, Our Lady of Perpetual Help Parish, 146 South Pitney Road in Galloway, New Jersey. Saturday, 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. And Youth Congress is, it's great for high school youth to come on out and just for teens grades 8 through 12. To come on out and have a fun day of spirituality, of service, to formation. There'll be talks, there'll be speakers, there'll be fun. It's a great time.
It's like a little mini World Youth Day. I went to it the first time. I've never been to World Youth Day, but I went to this for the first time last year, and I was just blown away by the energy and the enthusiasm that exists there. It's outstanding. I mean, it really is. It's really very cool.
It is. They had I forget the guy's name, a speaker from the Bronx last year.
Yeah.
Who was just on fire for the faith, and this is what I love. It really gets the youth on fire. And it's just a joyous day to see all these youth come together. So don't miss out. Don't miss out. If you want more info, contact Greg Coogan at 856-583-2908. Saturday, March 2nd, Youth Congress, 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Assumption Regional Catholic School in Galloway, New Jersey. And as always, all these news items and more can be found on CamdenDiocese.org on the right-hand side. So
yeah, that's great. Wow. That is the shortest intro we've done in probably 100 episodes. You must really want to move to our guests very quickly.
Well,
which is good. That's a great thing.
They got a great story.
They seem lovely, and they've all been very nice. I've enjoyed having them in the vault for all of 4 minutes. So who are they? Because I literally have no idea what we're talking about today. Well,
this is really cool. We have this. A couple of years ago, I was privileged to do a story on NET Ministries, NET, National Evangelization Team. And for more than 30 years, NET Ministries has trained more than 2,300 young adults in how to share their faith across the country through personal witness to junior high and high school youth through retreats. And this year, NET Ministries has 150 young adults, and they're split into 14 teams. And we're privileged to have a team here that has been in our diocese for a few days. 4 of the members here. We have, can you just say your name, Christian? Just
Christian, Perea, or Christian, whatever one works or whatever one's easiest. That's pretty much.
I think it's whatever you prefer.
Yeah.
We'll be happy to call you.
I mean,
you want to be
my
called
mom-
Bob? We'll call you Bob.
Well, my mom wanted to name me Christian because, she was in love with this Mexican pop singer that was really popular in the late 90s. So she's like, Christian, but of course nobody can say it. So I just prefer Christian, but like what I mean.
We'll do
Whatever
our
makes
best to
it-
call you Christian to make your mom happy, if nothing else. On the
it'll
off
make
chance
her
she listens
happy.
to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. It's
You're
my
very
pleasure.
welcome.
You're welcome.
Hi, my name's Cecilia Peyton. I'm from Ohio.
Okay.
Welcome.
And next up.
Hi, my name's Casey Buenzli, and I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
I'm Joe Bartley, and I'm also from Chicago, Illinois.
Excellent. We love that. And you guys have, how long have you been part of the NET team?
Well, for me personally, this is my second year doing NET. I first served 2 years ago, and I served in the Archdiocese of Cincinnati. But now I guess this is now a year and I guess 5-6 months now for myself.
Oh, yeah.
And it's been a heck of a journey.
Well, that's great. And Cecilia, how long have you been in?
Yeah, so we came for training in August, but we've been on the road doing retreats since September.
Wow. And Joe and Casey?
Yeah, same for me. We all met up in August. We
Okay.
went to training for about a month, and then
All right. So, let's see. I guess the first question is why? Why did you decide to sign up for this? What sort of spoke to you and said, I'm going to travel the country and see if I can get people to be better Catholics, better Christians, better people?
That's actually probably a different story for all four of us.
Perfect. We
very
got an hour to fill. We're good.
So I first heard about NET through another missionary program on my college campus. And after college, I did not expect whatsoever to be a missionary. And I just went to the interview weekend. And what really drew me towards NET was actually their team life. So we focus on keeping each other accountable for daily prayer, and we have team prayer daily. So it's just like encouraging one another inside our team to be faithful Catholics and pray. So I think that's what really drew me to NET.
Okay, that's that team aspect. Okay, how about you, Joe?
So my family hosted NET teams since I was like 10 years old. We remodeled our house in 2009, and after the remodel, we had enough room to hold people in our house. So my mom was like, yeah, we'll start to host people. And I remember very vividly having the first team come to our house and being like, okay, these guys are kind of cool, but they're also really weird, so I would never see myself doing anything like this. But my brother actually did NET like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
He did it for 2 years as well. So we got to host his team his first year on the road. And since he's my brother, we have similar personality. And so I got to see the way he interacted with his team, and really was like, okay, they're not as weird as I thought they were. So maybe I'll give it a shot.
Has it ever occurred to you that now you're the weird person in somebody's house?
Yeah,
Okay.
totally. I'm one of the weirdest people probably on the road this year. So
There you go. So you're maintaining. That's
Right,
right. I like it.
yeah,
That's nice.
I don't
That's good.
deny it. Yeah. So that was kind of for me. Also, part of it was the team life.
Yeah.
And also in high school, my mom is our youth minister back home, so I was doing a bunch of retreats for my youth ministry program.
Yeah.
And just realizing that this is really great. I love sharing my faith with people my age. So
No,
really
that's really outstanding. That's good. How about you, Cecilia? How did you get into this?
Yeah, so similar to Joe, I kind of grew up around NET. I went on NET retreats when I was in 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, and we also hosted NET people at our house. But I also kind of thought they were weird. So it was never something I was planning on doing, but I knew they were there, and I loved going on the retreats, and I always thought they were really fun. And then I went to college for 1 year last year at a community college, and I got a lot of opportunities to share my faith. And when I really thought about it and prayed about it, I felt a lot more called to do something like that with this year rather than school for this year. And I remembered that NET was a thing that I thought was kind of interesting, so I applied for it, and yeah, here I am.
Excellent. And Joe, how about yourself?
I would say for myself, I never really.
Oh, Christian. I'm sorry. I called you
That's all
Christian.
good.
I apologize.
That's all good.
I warned him that I was going to screw up everybody's names. All right.
The
no
beard's
problem.
kind
It's
of similar.
I'm going to go long beard, short beard, whatever. It's fine.
It's all good. I actually never knew about NET until I was 16 when my youth minister was a NET alum. He took me on a retreat, a weekend-long retreat called Discipleship Week. And I was 16. It was in San Antonio, Texas. And it was there where I was first exposed to, like, because I was still very raw into my faith, because I was just like, okay, I'm going to be Catholic when I'm 16. And it was there where I was exposed to like Mary, charismatic praise and worship, and just what it really means to just be on fire for your faith. And so it kind of took an interest to me, but I didn't really think about it till like my senior year of high school, because football just ended. Had really two major opportunities. I could have, gone to play Division I college football, not high school football. I was already playing high school football, or pursue some whack-a-mole dream of trying to become a professional boxer. But no thanks. I don't want to get hit in my head for the rest of my life. And so I had friends of mine, really close friends of mine, that helped me in my faith. Did it before the past 2 years, and they've always encouraged me. You would be really good for this. You would be really good for this. But I'm just like, I don't know. I don't think that's for me, But it was just, it's like in the book in the Bible where Jacob is like wrestling with God somewhere, and it's like God keeps taking his rib. It felt like God was literally taking my rib to just apply and apply and apply. So I was tired of him taking my rib, and so I just applied.
Yeah.
And it was a great first year. It was rough. It had its certain things, but if God really wants me to do this, there must be a specific reason. And this reason must be important. I'm not, obviously the team aspect, the prayer and all that was great, but there are people that need to hear the love of Jesus and to hear the gospel. And, people have done that for me, so why can't I repay the favor and do that for other people who probably have never even heard of Jesus? So,
that kind of begs the next question, which is, so you're traveling the country, and what do you do when you arrive someplace? Like, what is it that you're bringing, and how are you bringing it to parishes or communities or ministries? Any of you can answer. It's fine.
Good question.
Okay.
Yeah. When we travel around, we all start in Minnesota. So there are 16 different teams that are on the road this year, and every team has a different route. So there are 5 teams that stay in the same place all year. We call those discipleship teams. They stay at one parish or one school for the entire year. The other 11 teams get a route that they get for the entire year. So our team got the northeast route. So we've been up here the entire year. We started in Pennsylvania. I went to Rhode Island, Pennsylvania again, New Hampshire, New York, really cool places. And so what happens is we'll go to a diocese and work in that diocese for a period of time. So we'll show up to the diocese and we'll go to our first parish. Each parish has a contact person that we talk with. Normally it's somebody on staff there, maybe a teacher or something like that. We'll go to parishes and schools around the nation, and when we show up, we put on retreats for that parish. Sometimes it's 1 retreat, sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's even more. It's completely dependent on what they want. And then after the retreats are over, what we ask the parishes to do is to provide host homes for us, so we have somewhere to sleep. So what they do is they find families in the area, or maybe just buildings in the area that are open to let us stay there overnight or for a few nights. So.
Where have you been? What parishes have you been to in this diocese?
If anybody can remember. Yeah. We understand you've been to a lot.
Yeah, we've been to Our Lady of Hope, Christ the King, St. Rose of Lima, and maybe another one.
That's okay. Rattled off more than I expected, actually. So I'm curious, when you go to these parishes, you said that it might be a 1-day retreat, it might be a 3-day retreat. What does that retreat consist of? Like, how are you engaging?
Pretty much, there's like a particular theme that parish wants. Like, for example, name a couple that are off my head. There's one called With Great Power, which is basically like a confirmation-themed retreat, basically about the gifts and the power of the Holy Spirit. And basically, what we try to do is, obviously, we try to relate to these young people to let them know that, hey, we're as normal, as goofy, and we're into the same things as you all are, but we're Catholic as well. And we're just pretty much to show you that you can have faith and you can be Catholic and still be the same old goofy self, be into video games, movies, reading books. whatever it is. And we try to implore that, and also tie in the theme as well to try to help young people understand just about like the rules and the faith of the church, about suffering with Christ and how that brings us hope, about calling on the power of the Holy Spirit, that it needs to be in God's will, or, you know, just simply ask for help from God, and as well as to know that you are in his image, that you are God's son and you are God's daughter. And we try to do that by obviously relating to the youth, getting to know them, meeting them at their level, and just also try to communicate with them during, like, we have times of small groups where pretty much that's our time for them to just be open, to be vulnerable, to share things, maybe something that they've never shared before, just to try to understand and put ourselves in their shoes, to try to help them and to help them understand about the faith. And it's okay to be Catholic, you know, it shouldn't be frowned upon to do so, that it's perfectly normal to be Catholic. And not just only that, but it's a great thing to do it as well, because it brings so much light and it doesn't allow you to be anything else but yourself, and at least in my perspective.
So it sounds like a lot of your interactions are at its core offering reassurance that people should, in a very secularized world that we live in today, that where sometimes people have a difficulty, you know, embracing and publicly pronouncing their Catholicism or their Christianity, that you're giving them the opportunity to say, hey, I'm just a few years older than you, and I'm living my faith out loud, right?
Yeah. Can I add something
Sure.
too? So this is something that I realized from last semester. I actually went to public school, like, growing up my entire life. So I wasn't used to talking about my faith at all. And that's something that I had to get over, because, like, it's my job to do that. So it's something that I had to get over, like, the whole entire first half. It's like, no, this is normal to talk about your faith. And NET works a lot with relational ministry. So we get the opportunity to share, like, our personal faith stories throughout retreat, which I think is really cool for the youth to see, like, oh, I can connect to them in this way. And to, like, see people be joyful about the Lord, and to recognize that they can be joyful with the Lord too.
You know, that's an interesting concept that actually, I don't know, Pete, if you found it, but I came from the business world over here. So it was very much night and day being able to talk about my faith, and not just that, but it's now part of my job to sort of explain to people that I have a faith that exists at all as part of my daily life. It's, you know, something I'm paid to do. It took me a good couple of months before I was really comfortable with that, just because it's indoctrinated out of you in public life.
Yeah.
And so it's great that you're making that available to them. And I've always sort of felt that public school kids, I was a Catholic school kid for 16 years, that public school kids had it a little bit more difficult. But I also find, of the four of you, Catholic school or public school?
Public school.
Public?
I was homeschooled.
Homeschool?
Homeschooled and then public school.
Homeschool, then public, then public. So four non-Catholic school, and yet here you have this fire inside of you. I think there's something beautiful about that, and I think you're right. I think that really does resonate with young public school educated kids or homeschool educated kids. Well, I'm curious. As you were talking, I was trying to, I think, are you mid-college or post-college between the four of you? Which or not college?
We're all over the board.
Really?
So NET's like, I guess, age range is 18 to 28.
Yeah.
So you can do it whenever
okay.
through that. So for me, I just graduated high school back in May.
Okay.
And so I'm here right now instead of college.
So this is sort of your gap year between high school and college. Okay.
It gives me time to be doing something really good while I think about what the heck I want to do with my life. So it's really nice. Yeah.
There's a lot of wisdom to that. About my junior year or sophomore year of college, I went to see my academic advisor, and I was having difficulties, and he says, honestly, Mike, I think keep in mind, this was 25 years ago, so a little less woke in this following statement. He's like, I'm a firm believer that every guy should take a year off before he goes to college, because his philosophy was men simply weren't emotionally prepared for college as compared to women. And I have never had any problems with, and I don't mean this for both men and women. I think there's some sense, if you feel like you're not quite ready or you want to do something else, take that year off before you go to college, especially if you don't know what you want to do. I'm still working on mine. I'm 25 years later. How about yourself, Casey?
Yeah, so I graduated college last year from University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, and this is kind of like my gap year before getting into a career. I think I really don't really know how to like involve my faith into what I really want to do with my life yet. So I think this is a good opportunity to like see how faith can be involved in like my entire day.
Yeah, I think you're making a good choice there. As someone who didn't realize that you could do that as a profession for the first 25 years of his career. Cecilia, how about you?
So I'm kind of in the middle of college. I did a year last year at community college, and I was getting ready to transfer to Wright State University, which is in Dayton, Ohio. And so this was a good time for me to take a gap year, but like in between.
Yeah. Okay. And how about you, Christian? I'm working on it, man.
Yeah, you're
I didn't call you Joe.
getting
Didn't call you Bob.
That's true. That's true, and I appreciate that. No college. I did NET right out of high school for my first year of NET, and then I took a year to work. I worked for my uncle in the solar industry, so I was up on the roof getting tan. And,
Hey, I was a roofer for many years. I understand.
Yeah, it's a rough business.
Yeah.
It's dangerous, but you learn a lot.
Oh,
I
yeah.
did that, and now I'm back here. Surprise, surprise.
Well, that's good though.
So yeah, unfortunately no school. Well, at least not yet. So
You
Hey,
went
there's
from-
plenty of time.
You went from soaking up the sun to now sharing the sun of God.
Wow.
yeah, if you want to put it that way, yeah.
No. Let's not. They all groaned first, and then they nodded in agreement. All right.
So the 4 of you are here, and how many of you are total with your team?
There's about 11 of us.
11. Okay, so you guys travel in, I think, Casey, you told me one van?
Yeah, we have a 15-passenger van with a trailer attached.
Wow. So how's that? Who are you all drivers?
We have 6 drivers on the team. We have 3 men and 3 women, and then on like long road trip days, we can rotate.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's good. And how's that been being on the road together?
It's been fun. There's different. The cool thing about it is that we're all different. There's different personalities. You got your high maintenance people. You got your low key silent introverts. That's one of them is Cecilia right here. But it's interesting because you get to meet and understand different personalities and just function with each different ones and learn how to communicate with each other differently. And plus, not only that, you're stuck in a tin can for miles. And it's like, it's just interesting.
Yeah. And just out of curiosity, none of you are Northeasterners, and yet you have the Northeastern region. Is anybody in the team from the Northeast? Good.
There's actually only one person on the road this year that's from New York.
Oh,
And
really?
There's a few from Pennsylvania, but that's about it. Yeah.
Okay. So is NET big in the Midwest, or so that's where it really?
Yeah, it's huge.
Okay.
The thing about NET is that the base, like the NET center, is in Minnesota, so it's in the Midwest. So a lot of people in Minnesota are exposed to it because they're close to it and they are familiar with it. And then the other thing about it is that the reason that I hosted so many NET teams growing up was because Chicago is like a hub for NET because it's exactly 6 hours away from the NET center. So it's a great stop to make, like on your way out to your route. Just about every route starts by going through Chicago and then going out to wherever they're going in the U.S. So, yeah.
There's also a Cincinnati regional team, so they stay in the Archdiocese of Cincinnati, which is my archdiocese and the team that Christian served on his first year. So it's kind of like popular around that area as well.
Well, I'm curious, and we'll go back to the spiritual stuff in a second, but just sort of the nuts and bolts and logistics of things. Since none of you are Northeasterners, and yet you've been all over the place in this region, have you been enjoying the drive? Have you been anything interesting? Has it been fun? I mean, in terms of almost touristy things have you been able to do?
Yeah, we actually got to go to Niagara Falls last semester,
Hey,
which
awesome.
was really fun.
That's great.
I think one of the coolest things for me was we got to go to New Hampshire, and we got to New Hampshire right when fall started. So like we got to see all of the colors
nice.
there, and like
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of the times too, we got to stay. There were a few instances where we got to stay at beach houses while we were in New Hampshire and Rhode Island, and got to like see the ocean like in our backyard. It was.
I always like talking to Midwesterners. They're always impressed by
I know,
the ocean.
right?
It's always nice.
You guys were.
It is. It's awesome.
You were in Summers Point, I think, recently, right? Or Avalon, or
Yeah, we were.
that is. What did you think about the Jersey Shore?
Amazing. Yeah.
The boardwalk is very beautiful. We got to spend some time as a team, just like walking down the boardwalk.
Which one? Which town were you in?
Ocean City.
Oh, yeah, it's my
Oh
favorite.
yeah, we were.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
So we just got to go on like a walk as a team and just like spend some time outside there, and it's so beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. It really is. I tell people all the time. You may not have, maybe this doesn't, you haven't heard this, but every now and again people like to make fun of New Jersey. And I always tell people, hey, listen, I'm 2 hours from New York, I'm 2 hours from Washington, D.C., I'm across the river from Philadelphia, and I can go to the beach anytime I want. It's the greatest place in the world. It will always be home base for me. But that being said, I have to say I'm quite envious of you that in your youth you're getting to do all this travel, because this is the perfect time to be on the road and doing stuff and living all these experiences. You had mentioned not college life. Well, welcome to college life. There's not. I mean, really, I did a lot of my traveling when I was in that time period, and then I didn't do any until I started traveling for work. And thank God I did, because it was a great experience. I mean, you'll learn things on the road, and you'll be a part of things on the road that simply would never have happened if you had settled into a routine and Dayton that going back and forth to school every day or something like that. So I think personally you're going to find it, and I'm sure you already have, quite enriching an experience. So that's outstanding.
And one of the things I always think about road trip is the music. I'm a big person. I've traveled out west. Mike's squinting at me.
No. I'd like to see how your brain works. So
well, no,
nice.
because that's one of the things. When I get ready to go on a road trip to Pittsburgh or Ohio to Boston or DC or Florida, I always try to get good music. What do you listen to on the road? Is there varied stuff?
Yes, a mixture of everything.
We usually let whoever's sitting in the passenger seat play the music. So.
Oh wow,
Okay,
that's actually a rule. That's a good rule to have.
Yeah.
You need rule on long trips like that. I agree.
And have you been able to kind of sample the local fare here in South Jersey food wise, like the Philly cheesesteak, for instance?
Oh no, not yet.
No.
Wait, nobody's had a Philly cheesesteak yet?
No.
Oh no.
There is a place here 20 minutes away called Donkey's on Haddon Avenue. The best cheesesteak in the area, Mike. Have you had Donkey's?
No. That's a terrible suggestion. I don't
Are
even
you
know.
serious?
I feel like throwing you out of the vault right now.
No, I'm going to throw you out of the vault.
No. Listen, just because it was on the Goldbergs doesn't mean it was the greatest cheesesteak. Everyone knows your first introduction to a cheesesteak must be either Pat's or Geno's or Jim's in South Philly, followed by almost any place else. Donkey's should be like the 10th place you go. And you should go to all 10, don't get me wrong. But start with the classics and then go to the far out ones, because that one doesn't even look like a cheesesteak.
But that's the point. That's why what's the word I'm looking for? Subverts. Thank you. It subverts the idea of what
but you can't subvert something until you've become accustomed to the actual thing. This is terrible. I've said on numerous occasions I'm close to firing him. I'm seriously close to firing him right now. I'll tell you that right now.
I will go to my grave saying Donkey's is the best.
You can say that, but you have these are our guests. You must show them the first thing first.
No, but I want to show them the best, Mike. Not the first, the best.
I can't even look at you right now. All right.
Well, no, Donkey's is close, but Pat's and Geno's is also fantastic.
It's literally right across the river. And have you been to Philadelphia yet? You would know if you had. It's a big city, lots of skyscrapers, surrounded by rivers. All right.
I mean, does the airport count?
No, it doesn't. But okay, because where are you guys stationed right now? Which parish are you in? Do you recall?
Yeah, we're at St. Rose of Lima right now.
Okay, you are literally 8 miles away from the corner that both Pat's and Geno's is on. I'm going to encourage you to make the pilgrimage to the Mecca of cheesesteaks. And I don't care which one you eat. I'm a Pat's guy myself, but I don't care which one you eat. But give it a whirl, see what you like, and then since you're going to be in the area, when are you going to leave the Diocese of Camden?
We leave on Tuesday.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Yes.
Oh, sweet Jesus, you got to move fast. All right.
Yes.
So
We'll go get lunch there, right?
go
guys?
get lunch. Go to Pat's and Geno's. I don't know if you're going to be. Are you in the van right now? That van is going to be tough to park in South Philly, but
Ooh.
it's once again an experience you don't want to miss.
No.
Is having to park in South Philly, the 15-person van.
And
Okay.
the thing too with that, if you do that, you need exact change, and you have to order a certain way. If you go to this,
Exact change. What are you
you
talking
never
about?
had them?
What are you talking about?
Pat's and Geno's. You
I've-
need exact change if you go there.
Okay, seriously, people. From now on, listen to nothing he says. You don't need exact change. I've never needed exact change. They have
Did
a
they
working.
change it? Did
they
they
have a
change it
working
there?
machine that gives out money.
They
It's
always
perfectly
had
fine.
no at Pat's. They always had a sign that said, "You need exact change, so make change with the people in line with you." I'm being serious.
Okay,
They changed it.
I've never in mind. All right, I've
Wow,
been
they
going there
actually-
for 30 years. It's never seen that sign, nor have I ever done that.
You have
That being
selective
said,
memory.
oh, you are a crazy person. I don't know what's going on. All right, so the last thing I was going to say about the cheesesteak is actually there is an ordering process. This is very important.
Okay.
All right, so this is important to learn. So when you go to, first of all, there's 2 stations. You order your cheesesteak from one station. You order the beverage and fries from another station. All right, they're both in the same. They're separated by like 6 feet of wall. When you order the cheesesteak, you must order it cheese with, cheese without, which is cheese with fried onions or cheese without fried onions. I prefer no fried onions. And then you can also not get the normal cheese, which is cheese whiz. But if you're going to have a true Philadelphia cheesesteak, cheese whiz without. My personal choice, unless you're really into fried onions. Do you disagree, crazy
I love
person?
onions. No, well, Whiz Wit is good, but like I said, if you're short on time, go to Donkey's Red on Haddon Avenue in Camden.
Jesus.
It is a steak on a
It's a
Kaiser
steak
roll.
on a seeded Kaiser
It's still
roll.
good. That's what's different about it. It's delicious.
Listen, I'm not saying any of those words are wrong. I'm just saying that if they're going to go for the first one, it's got to be a real one. I mean, a classic.
Again, Mike,
cheesesteak.
not just the first, the
There's
best.
nothing I can throw at you right now. This is insane.
So no, I think that's great. So no, I mean, hopefully you get out there. So how?
Where to is next?
Next, we go to the Diocese of Baltimore, so we're going to Virginia.
Oh, where do you want to tell them to get crabs from, huh? There's some strange crab thing you want to tell them to get?
Don't they have
Look at
clam
that. Kept
chowder?
silent.
Clam chowder there?
That's from Boston or Manhattan. Not.
The Inner Harbor.
He is not indicative of all people from this area. I promise. This
The-
is very
the-
strange. I don't know what's going on. I got to turn off the live stream. This has been on live stream the whole time, so everybody knows what's going on.
Our great cheesesteak debate.
Ugh,
But Baltimore has a great Inner Harbor, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful city. So what? So you're touring. I shouldn't say touring, but I mean, you're doing this until for a few more months. Until when?
Yeah, our year ends in May.
In May. Okay. So where else? Where after Baltimore?
After Baltimore, we're going to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And I don't know the exact order, but we come back to New Jersey. We go to Patterson. We go back to Baltimore. We come to Philadelphia, and then I think we end up in Baltimore before we go back as well.
Oh, so Baltimore 3 different times.
Yeah.
Oh. So okay, so you'll be back in Philadelphia, so you can
Yeah.
get the donkeys this time, and then when they're back, then they can go to Pat's and Geno's. See,
no, get the real one first, and then you can get the perceived best one.
So I just getting away finally from this cheesesteak debate, but I'm hungry
It's not
now.
a debate,
It's
you're
almost
wrong.
noon.
All right.
Is there anything about this whole experience that has surprised any of the 4 of you?
Oh my gosh. So the thing I never thought I would see was like how much change there can be. Not in like us, like, because there's a lot of change that happens in the actual NET team members, especially on our team. But like the change in retreatants just over like the span of a few hours, it's crazy. Like one of the things that I like to bring up is that we go to a lot of private Catholic schools, and some of the kids that come to the retreat at these schools like literally say, I'm atheist, I don't believe in God, I'm just here because like my parents sent me here, and like I'm here for the academics. Like it's a good school, so that's why I'm here. I don't really believe in God. And by the end of the retreat, through like small group, through hearing all the talks and like hearing like all of this stuff about God, they from what I've seen, I've asked them at the end, and they're like, yeah, I'm a little more open to the idea of God, and like I actually am starting to believe. Like that's been the coolest thing for me, and I never expected to see that. I never really even expected to have like atheists on our retreats. Like it's just been so cool to see that, though, of like they show up and they don't want to be there, or they don't believe in God, and by the end of the retreat they were like, that was really fun, and like I could see God being real now. Like that's been one of the coolest things for me. Like it's just
Now you're making a difference.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Anybody else?
I think what surprised me most is just like the team and how much like just like a big family it is, and how like we try every day to like find God in one another, and just like how beautiful that is, and how much we've all grown in that.
Mm-hmm. And how long? I don't know if we asked this question before. I could have been stewing about this Pete's cheesesteak problems. How long from beginning to end will your tour of duty be?
Pretty much it's a total of 9 months, so it's basically like a school year. We start up in August and we finish like around May.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much how long it will go, about a school year.
And do you make it home at all in the midst of it?
Yes, we are able to go home for Christmas, so we get to enjoy the holidays with our families, catch up with them, let them know about how our first few months has been, from when we're sent off to when we're put on teams to our first travels on the road. Like, for example, I got to share with my family, I'm the first one to finally see a waterfall, and especially
wow.
of all the waterfalls, Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
So they were a little jealous of that, and not only that, I finally got to try some really good New York style pizza.
Oh, proud of you. All right.
I know.
Do you want to start a fight about that, Pete? About what the best kind of New York pizza there is? You're gonna say Sparrow's, isn't there?
I don't go to New York pizza. I get New York Cuban food from Victor's Cuisine.
All right. Well, I can't argue.
That's what I do when I go to New York.
That's fine. Hey, listen, one of the best meals I ever got in New York was barbecue, so I can't argue about that. All right. So how is it for your family being away? Have they, do you get any, like, calls from your mom going, you could call sometime?
Yeah. So I went to college already, so I was kind of used to being like away from home, but this was a lot different because like at college I could go home on like the weekends if I really wanted to. So my family was kind of confused at first, and they are getting more used to me being gone, I think.
Okay. How about you two youngsters? How's that been?
So it's really funny because when my brother left for NET 3 years ago, the same thing kind of happened, but it was just like felt like somebody was missing, and it was weird. And it's kind of nice because since where I live is like a hub for NET, we've actually got to stay with my family 3 times.
Oh, that's
so
nice.
It's been awesome. Like it's been really great. But like being gone has like shown me how much I actually like miss being around them, and like when I go back, how much they missed me too, and how different things are without me being there. And like it's really cool to see that like me being gone doesn't affect like their lives though. Like they can move on and do what they normally would be doing without me being there, and like doesn't have to rely on me.
Yeah.
So it's been really cool to see that, and like see how much they actually miss me. So that's been nice. Yeah.
How about you, Cecilia?
So I'm the oldest of 7, and so it was kind of hard leaving like all the little kids, especially because like kind of like second mom a little bit. But it's like sometimes it's hard being away, but like when I went home for Christmas, it was just like Joe was saying, like really nice to see like how much they've grown while I was away, and like how much that I've grown too. And so it's a really beautiful thing.
Do they look at you with a certain a little more, that you're a little bit more worldly now that you've sort of been far and away from being in little Dayton? No?
I don't know.
Haven't noticed? Okay, that's
They
fine.
like all my stories, so
That's a good sign. All right. And what about from a I have to imagine there's a certain aspect of this where you're kind of looking at these young people and seeing the next generation of NET people. Do you have people coming to ask, how do I become a evangelist?
So my role on the team, I'm the music leader, but I also am the like recruiting assistant on the team. So that's exactly what I look for at every retreat, is the people that might like want to do this. And so some people come up to us, some people we go up to and are like, hey, you'd be really good at NET, you should give it a try, we have some stuff for you. They give us a bin of like stickers and business cards and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like we're constantly looking for people that could also be doing NET, because like we can find like potential in people just from being with them for a few hours. Like you can see like, wow, this person could be a really good netter. So yeah,
that's really good.
Yeah.
All right.
And I understand. So you were at St. Rose. So you met Deb Smaldor, because she's been on this program before.
Mm-hmm.
She's lovely.
Yeah.
So so you were there in the retreat. So so what's kind of a day like? How early are you up usually for retreats? Oh.
So retreats vary times like all over the place. So like we have had a retreat that started at 7:30 in the morning, and it was a half an hour drive for us. So we had to get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning to get there on time. And like there's other times where we have retreats at like 6 at night, so we get to wake up at like 9, and it's really nice. But
and kind of and you're staying at, how does it work with the host family? Is this something before you even begin your trip?
So when a parish asks for a NET retreat, they get a bunch of information from the NET Center. They send them a bunch of stuff of like what they need to get done before the team gets there. The team leaders, which is actually Casey and another guy on our team named Jesse, they call ahead to each parish before we get there to make sure that everything is running smoothly, that we have all the information we need before we get there. And then part of that is we send them a sheet that for host homes. So it's up to them what they want to do. They can have the whole team stay somewhere. They normally split us up into pairs of 2 or 3. And they'll find families in the area that go to the parish, that work at the school, like whatever it is, and they'll find those for us ahead of time. So as soon as we get there, they already have those scheduled and have the people come meet us there and take us to their house. So.
That must be in the hospitality. You have a bed, or do you have a sleeping bag, or
yeah. So
or a bed?
Where we sleep varies like crazily. Like we've gone from like sleeping on the floor of like a basement to like staying in a beach house, or like where we all have our own bed, and like sometimes it's like a really big bed, and like like it varies, like, and air mattresses and everything. So you get to try it all.
So we appreciate you coming out here on your day off, and so kind of what time do you need? So your last day is tomorrow. Where are you tomorrow? Do you have a time, the parish here?
We don't have a time yet, but we're going to the Baltimore Diocese, so somewhere.
Oh, okay. So that's okay. So you're leaving tomorrow. You're not.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're actually going to Herndon, Virginia.
Okay, I'm not sure where. And do any of you foresee doing this again after this tour is over?
This is already my second one, so I'm done after this one. No, thank you.
No,
thank you. I love it, but no, third time is not the charm for myself.
I wouldn't be totally opposed to it, but as of right now, I don't think I'm going to do a second year. But who knows?
Well, that's the beauty of opportunities like this, is it's the kind of thing you do once in your life. If you're so called to it, you're going to get a great learning. Well, you hope you're going to get a great learning experience out of it. And it certainly sounds like at least the 4 of you have had a great experience. And but that's also what I think the intention is. You do it that one time, and then you turn it over to somebody new. But you're always going to take this with you wherever you go. You're going to. I'm fairly certain that you will be evangelizers for the rest of your life. We talked a little bit about how I had to get used to being comfortable with talking about my own faith publicly with people, and I've now done it 104 episodes. But it's but at the same time, there is a part of me that does miss working in the secular world, because I was also the go-to Catholic guy. So whenever the Vatican did something or something happened of Catholic news, people would come to me and say, "So what's the deal with this? Why can't priests marry, or why do Catholics fight against abortion? So there'd be a lot of these questions, and I could evangelize well, not even in air quotes, I could evangelize in the workspace because they knew that they could get answers from me. And I was very comfortable with talking about it. I wouldn't necessarily. I mean, certainly in the professional world, it's difficult to proclaim anything publicly, but, one-on-one, having those conversations, you'll be evangelizers till you're dead. So you take great comfort in that. You too, Pete. You'll be an evangelizer till you're dead too.
But it's a joy to talk about my faith, and I'm very blessed to I draw energy from individuals like you guys. Really, doing the good work inspires me to keep going, and that's something Getting back to your point about growing up, I was reticent to talk about my faith, but then in high school and even college, I saw people on fire for the Lord. I was like, oh, good, I can talk about the rosary or talk about a certain prayer. And there's a blessing in that, to be able to share and to have that communion with each other. And for all of you, and the class, are you when you do retreats, are you doing it for the whole school or for little pockets of students?
Depending on how big the school is, sometimes it can be like 6th to 8th graders, or if the school's a little bigger, sometimes we'll stay for 3 days and do like a 6th grade retreat Monday, 7th grade retreat Tuesday, 8th grade retreat Wednesday. So it's a mix.
So you're getting intimate in some way with these kids, too, about their questions and about their feelings.
Yeah.
Well, as we're about to wrap up, something you had said, Casey, early in the conversation was about, how to make your faith. I think you said something to the effect of how to, I don't know, get a job within your faith and do something career-wise that incorporates your faith. I have to imagine that this tour of Northeast Catholic institutions has been beneficial. I mean, there are so many ways, so many opportunities. If you really want to look for a job that incorporates your faith into it, I mean, I have to imagine you've seen a target-rich environment out there. You can have Pete's job if you promise to eat if you can string together 3 sentences and we'll eat a cheesesteak and be not weird about it, you can have his job.
Yeah, I'm definitely planning on going wherever the Lord takes me. So
that's good. That's the way to do it. I have to give a presentation at my son's school on Thursday about what it's like to work at the diocese, and I jokingly said, "Man, you got the wrong guy," because I have changed jobs. I have a lifetime average of about 4 years at any particular job, just because I like changing jobs. I like to move and do different things, and I haven't regretted any of it. It's been so. I hear people, oh, that person's retired after 40 years at the same job. I'm like, I don't get it. I can't even imagine that, actually. But Pete, I mean, you'll be here for another 30, so it'll be all right.
I don't know, but so yeah, you're coming up on how many years have you been here?
3.5.
3.5. So, oh man.
So I'm almost due to leave.
I know. One of you can be my new co-host. So.
Hey, there you go. Now you're talking.
And see, we can talk about Pat's cheesesteak. No, not Pat.
See, there you go. Now you finally said it out loud. I'm proud of you. All right. Well, on that note, where I win, I think we're going to wrap it up. Thank you all very much for A, joining us today on your day off, and B, being so moved in your spirit to do what you're doing now for the benefit of the people. And Joe, don't think for a second I didn't notice you're wearing sushi socks. So I'm very proud of you.
I was just we can wrap. We started with fashion and now it's all coming full circle.
That's right, full circle with the sushi socks.
I got really excited when you guys started talking about fashion because I love it. So.
Oh man, we should have made it a bigger part.
I like your shirt too. I like it's the tie-dye.
I like to say that it's a cloud shirt. Yeah.
Okay, well see that's great because when people see it, they are thinking of things above.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
Just like the Lord. So, and is there you guys have a blog too, right? Where they can follow you?
Yes. I'm actually the marketing assistant on the team, so.
Oh, I'm sorry. You can have Pete's job.
Oh, okay.
All right, there you go. There you are.
So I write all of the blogs. Soon we're going to be doing an Instagram takeover of NET's Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
But where you can find the blog is netusa.org.
Okay,
and it'll just be under missionary blogs, and we are Team 8.
Team 8, okay. And what's the Instagram account?
I'm pretty sure it's just NetUSA.
NetUSA, okay. We'll follow it, and we can. And if people want to, how do they? they're listening to this and they're like, wow, this sounds like something really fun for me.
Well,
How can they?
being young people who know how to use a computer, they'll just Google it. But as an old person
Still.
like yourself, is there a website they can go to?
Yes,
What is
the website is netusa.org.
See, we saved them to Google, Mike.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now you can just plug in the URL.
Yeah.
I keep trying to end this podcast and it keeps lingering. All right. I got to go. I got to do the stuff. So we got to end the podcast. Thank you very much again for joining us. Keep up the good work on your mission. And Pete, don't give food advice. All right.
Thanks everybody.
Bye-bye.